How's it going? Been at the Edale Bushcraft show for 4 days. Before that I was preparing, making a good bit of stock to take with me to do to the show. Didn't get a lot of footage at the show because I was busy talking to people, so I did take a little bit of footage. I'll stick it in another video. It's just not worth adding to at this point. For anyone who went to the Edale show, how are you doing? Right guys, I've got two knives which I desperately need to do this week. I need to get these finished. One is like a small camp style knife, which is in feather pattern Damascus, and it's that style of knife with a feather pattern. So I've got to get these done. The other knife is a fox bush blade like that in Damascus. No particular pattern. I shall probably do a ladder pattern on that one. I've just been going through my billets and I've got, I think there's enough steel here for the feather pattern. I've got two pieces here, both 120 layers. These are offcuts of bars which I've been working on, you know, and they've been too big, so they've been cut down before the final pattern was forged out. And I kind of keep these little billets because they can always be worked again later, like now, and it saves all that initial prep. So I've got what have I got there? I've got a 20, I think it's a 20 layer billet, that one, or is it a 30 layer billet there? That will get me the Damascus fox knife, and these two will get me the camp knife in feather pattern. So you can see the sizes are a bit different. So what I'm going to do is this was the start of a crushed W pattern as well, this particular billet, and that'll look really nice on a feather, so it'll be a crushed W feather. I'm going to draw that bar out to match the width of that one. So I'm going to double the length of that, then I'm going to cut it in half and I'm going to put that piece in the centre. So I've got a 3 stack. And I will then have, give me a second, 340, I will then have 360 layers in that billet, which is enough for cutting a feather. Because it's a full tang handle, if you like, it's just a full handle on this knife as well. I probably won't work the feather into the handle, so I'll only cut the billet halfway in just to form the actual feather on the blade. And then the handle just be under the scales, will just be Damascus. Won't be feather under the handle. There's no point having a feather pattern underneath wood. So it just means slightly less work, slightly less trauma for me trying to weld the feather back and draw the feather out. If there's only half as much, it's half the work. Okay guys, here we go. This is the new Yi camera. Sound level's a bit different to my other camera, so doing a bit of a voiceover here on this. But this is me drawing out the feather pattern billet, which has been drawn out, stacked. So that's that stack of 3 now, and I'm just drawing it out. And in a second I'm going to cut that stack of 3 in half. Like now, fold that over to make the cut for the feather. And this is me doing the cut for the feather now. And it was a bit of a disaster this, although it cut fantastic, I could not get the cutter out of the billet. I hammered on it for ages, and I think what happened was forging scale just built up in that joint and it didn't weld. It would not weld. I tried 3 or 4 times to push this together, it wouldn't work. So what I had to do in the end was draw these 2 pieces out again so that I could cut them, grind them clean, cut them and restack them, and that's what I ended up doing, and it ended up with a much higher layer count. So I've just restacked this billet, 6 layers, two 1095 and two nickel. I think I've just about got enough steel there to form this knife. That pattern should be really nice, and as a result we've got a higher layer count now as well. Gonna have to roll that boy on again. This pattern is so fine, it's very, very difficult to see it. Can you even see it? There's around 1500 layers here. Yeah, the pattern came out really, really fine, and I was pleased with it, really pleased with it. I didn't really get much time to video this. I was just in such a rush to get this knife finished, and that kind of didn't get any footage of it as well. So on we go to the next blade, and this is the Fox bush blade. This is 4mm, I think, or it ended up about 3.5, I think. Just taking these faces down. I think this is the coarse grit, 40 grit. This great surface grinder, this, it really is. But I've got some news in that I have just bought a quarter-ton surface grinder, 3-phase machine. Yeah, it's a nice finish, nice finish. Yeah, I've just bought a three-phase surface grinder, so I'll be picking that up this next week, and I will show you that when it arrives. Our sort of ladder with the 1095 core is done, and there's that spalted beech handle. About 5 coats of oil. There is the sheath for this knife. It's having a brown sheath with a dangler on it. Well, that was it, guys. Two Damascus knives done this week, both gone off to the customers, and both quite happy with them. Since then I've just done this little camp knife in stainless and 1095 San Mai. I'm just waiting for that to set up. I've done a 256 feather pattern as well. Sorry, I've done a 256 feather, and today I've just drawn it out into that. It's a big chef knife. I didn't bother filming it because it's you know, it's what's the point, just on the press, on the hammer. They're really troublesome feather patterns for drawing them out. It's fairly easy on the anvil. They go well, but as soon as you put it on the press, it just starts to open it up. You've got to be really, really careful on the press with their feather patterns, or I guess any mosaics. All the footage in there was shot on that little Yi camera. I'm quite pleased with that, the way the footage has come out. But when it came to editing, it was a bit of a nightmare, because a couple of times I changed the angle of the camera in its settings from wide angle to medium to narrow, just for different shots, and as a result of that it made a different file name. So when I came to edit that footage, rather than it being you know, it was just scattered all over the place, so it took quite a while to figure out what all the footage was, and I won't be doing that again. So anyway, what I'll do is I'll turn this into a video. I'll show the cleaning up and the grinding of this feather and fitting the handle and everything. See what you think of that. I was given this by Darren. Alright, Darren. He thought I could maybe use it to make a knife. But I have got a use for this, so I'll show you what I'm going to do with this. I've got this in muriatic acid now. Just clean all that forging scale off. I'll maybe start grinding that tonight, I don't know. Just cleaning it up a bit. I forged it down to maybe 1/4 inch thick. It's going to end up 4 mm on the spine with a taper to the point. The handle I think is buffalo horn and elm bear. Should be a nice knife for providing all them welds held together. Right guys, thank you to my patrons. Thanks for subscribing and thanks for watching.